Jim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Define disruption. What does it mean to you?
Wow. So disruption is change on change on change. So every company deals with change. It's natural. Disruptive change is cumulative, multiple serial and parallel changes causing fundamental shift in the way things are done.
From a leadership point of view, what are the challenges that disruption throws up?
Well, your old models don't work. So the biggest problem with leadership is that you are constantly having to invent, and then to not only invent, but to then communicate down or over in most cases. These days, it's a lot more over than down. In the old days, the top-down management had terrible communication up and down, and so these days we have much flatter organizations that communicate horizontally, and communication is still one of the big challenges.
Is it possible to have a plan as far as like a technology business is concerned, given that the world is becoming so disruptive?
Yes. The plans are important. You have to have a plan. Now, what you don't have is a plan that is unchangeable, immutable for all time. So if you're stuck with a plan, that could be sometimes worse than no plan at all. But yes, you should have direction, and plans can be as simple as what I'm going to do for the next hour, or what's the goal today, or what's the goal this week. They don't have to be these lofty, sort of Soviet-era 5-year mandates, but they need to fit. They need to fit the environment.
Okay, how can companies, try and provide solutions for unknown problems? Because so far, a lot of technology companies have been finding solution for known problems.
So how do you solve an unknown problem? I don't think you do. Or if you do, it's accidental. If the problem is unknown, I don't think you can say it's been solved in any sort of meaningful way intentionally. But what you can do is you can sort of anticipate classes of problems, all right? And build solutions in anticipation. So one of the things that we know that's going to happen is people become more connected, they're going to start communicating more and more and more. And so filtering may be a very important thing. I don't need filtering now, but as communication becomes more ubiquitous, then I need filtering. So in the early days when I could assume that people read emails, I had one set of problems. These days I assume nobody reads emails, so I have a different set of problems. So you have to sort of adapt.
What are the few big disruptions that you see happening, say, over the next 2 or 3 years?
Well, again, I don't have any sort of specific calls, but one of the huge areas that I'm looking at is financial services and financial technologies. And that's simply because there's a system dynamic that's different. In most industries, if you want to have a successful startup, great team, great idea, and enough resources to get you there, will do it. In financial services, that doesn't work because you also need access to the rails. And so the access to the rails typically are controlled by governments and by large institutions. So we see startups having to partner with large institutions. And that marriage is sometimes very awkward.
All right, Jim. Thank you so much for joining us.